Okay, our first application on the agenda is D13-MV 2026-007 Wagman. We have. Get that you're talking. Okay, this variance is a request to permit a reduced interior side lot line setback to a two-story private cabin / private garage and shed. Sorry, what's your first name?
Mark?
Mark, do you want to give us a little rundown of what you're requesting here?
Sure, if you'd like. I wasn't planning to add anything or ask. I think everything's been filed, but we're looking to build a garage with a loft up top and want it closer to the lot line.
Okay. Okay, good enough. We've seen it all in here too, so, all right. You got, the committee got any questions or concerns or?
Well, yeah, so, I'm fine with it, as long as meet the recommendations and there's been no issues, expressed by the neighbors, so, I'm okay with it as long as you meet the recommendations.
Okay.
So the only question I'd have is, for the setback of, what it's 4.5? Is there a reason that you can't have it a little bit less than that? Is it size of the building or is there an obstruction there?
It would cut into the entranceway of the main home if it was over more. So,
into the
so
driveway?
leave the access there.
Mark. Good.
Oh, I got you.
So I don't have that in front of me.
Yeah.
It's shed located in the water setback?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So through you, Chair, just was speaking with the agent and the applicant. This shed was existing. It's been there for numerous years. Obviously it was illegal prior to council's new update. The only provision it does not comply with is the side lot line setback, and the applicants wish to keep it where it is so they don't have to disturb the area and move it over. One of the conditions was to go for a site plan agreement with municipality, which is one of the requirements in the zoning bylaw for that shed. Staff didn't really have any concerns with that shed and its location. There seems to be a lot of vegetation around it and no comments from the neighbors.
Okay. All right, well, we'll go on to Adam, if you want to tell us any public comments, which sounds like there is none, and then read the recommended conditions, please.
Yep. So through you, Chair, notice the minor variance was circulated as required by regulation on July 28th, 2026. No comments have been received. And should the committee decide to grant the requested variances, the following conditions would be appropriate. So condition number 1, approval applies only to the two-story private cabin / private garage and shed shown generally on the property sketch dated July 9th, 2026. Condition number 2, the county shoreline tree preservation bylaw 3505 applies. Condition number 3, the site alteration bylaw applies. Condition number 4, during construction, sediment fencing and proper site controls must be used to prevent erosion and material from entering the lake. Condition number 5, before footings are poured for the garage, the applicants must provide Ontario Land Surveyor confirmation that the two-story accessory building / private cabin meets the approved interior side lot line setback. Condition number 6, before footings are poured for the garage, the applicants must provide OLS confirmation or Ontario Land Surveyor confirmation that the shed meets the approved interior side lot line setback. Condition 7, before footings are poured for the garage, the applicants must bring the total gross floor area within the minimum water setback into zoning compliance and provide OLS confirmation. Condition number 8, before footings are poured for the garage, the applicants must apply for building permits for the attached and detached decks. Condition number 9, before occupancy, a planting strip must be installed and or maintained along the interior side lot line to screen the accessory building and shed. Condition number 10, no decks, windows, doors, openings, or lights are permitted on the side of the two-story private cabin / private garage facing the interior side lot line. Condition 11, before a garage building permit is issued, the applicants must enter into a site plan agreement with the municipality for the shed as required by the zoning bylaw.
Okay. You're okay with all those? I'm sure you've had a chance to read
Yeah.
through them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion that we grant all three variances as presented.
Okay. Moved by Jerry Walker, seconded by Don Popple. Okay, I'll go through be it resolved that the committee decision with respect to file D13 MV 2026-007 be recorded as follows. A variance to section 3.1 EV to permit a private cabin to have a minimal interior side lot line setback of 1.9 meters, 6.2 feet, as opposed to the required minimal of 4.5 meters, 14.7 feet is granted. All in favor? B, a variance to section 3.1 F to permit a two-story accessory building to have a minimal interior side lot line setback of 1.9 meters, 6.2 feet, as opposed to the required minimal of 4.5 meters, 14.7 feet is granted. All in favor? Thank you. And C, a variance to section 3.1 B to prevent a shed located within the minimal water setback to have a minimal interior side lot line setback of 0.6 meters, 1.9 feet, as opposed to the required minimal of 4.5 meters, 14.7 feet is granted. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. I think you're good to go.
Thank you.
20-day, yes. Yeah. Yes.
How would that be?
Yep. Okay. 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 Our second application for lands of Mitchell. This is a variance request to increase the structural height of a private garage, permit a water closet in the private garage, and permit an additional accessory building. Okay, you guys are up. Want to give us a little rundown? Kurt? So it's Kurt, right? And you're the owner, Eric, right? Yes.
Hi, yes, Kirk Figuera, agent for Eric Mitchell, the owner, property owner. So the accessory structure, due to the size of the property, is 47 acres on the Percy Lake, 1,200 feet of shoreline, quite a unique piece of property. There's a long, kind of not maintained property road that gets access to the laneway, which is another long laneway that goes into Mr. Mitchell's property. Due to the winter conditions, there's going to be major tractor for snow blowing due to conditions. There's also numerous utility vehicles that will be storing there, and also a pontoon boat that will be stored in this facility. So the height is needed because of the tall doors that are going to be installed in this, and then accessories that's going to be our equipment that's going to be stored in there. So that was the main reason. There's no neighbors that are behind this property. I know a lot of the zoning restrictions are put in place for heights for neighbors to not be blocked by the waterfront. In this case, there's no one behind this property. It's a large property. There's a large ridge to the west of this particular spot where we're gonna be putting the accessory building. And there's one neighbor that is quite a ways away, over probably 500 feet, 600 feet. And he's got a storage building that's right on the edge of the property anyway, so that will block the view to this accessory building that we're looking to build, so. That's basically what we're here to seek approval, and I will turn it over to Mr. Mitchell if he has any other questions or concerns or wants to say anything else.
Nothing else to add.
You're good. Okay, all good. All right, committee members.
I'll go, happy to go there first. Yeah, looking at the situation there, I don't think that, there's any issues as long as you agree to the, recommendations that are made by SAT.
And I'll concur that with the size of the property, and it looks like it's not gonna be an issue.
Okay. Okay, Adam, you want to read us in the public comments and give a list of the conditions?
Yep, so through you, Chair, notice the minor variance was circulated as required by regulation on July 28th, 2026. No comments have been received. And then subject to the following conditions below. Condition number 1, approval applies only to the private garage and accessory buildings shown on the property sketch dated June 17th, 2026. Condition number 2, the county shoreline tree preservation bylaw applies. Condition number 3, the site alteration bylaw applies. Condition number 4, sediment fencing and erosion controls must be used during construction to protect the lake. Condition number 5, before a building permit is issued for the garage, the number of accessory buildings must comply with the variance approved. Condition number 6, before a building permit is issued for the garage, the open sauna permit must be completed. Condition 7, before footings are poured for the garage, a surveyor must confirm the sauna and woodshed B meet the minimum water setback. Condition number 8, before footings are poured for the garage, the applicants must apply for a building permit for the attached deck.
Okay, you guys had a chance to read them before, I'm sure, anyway. Anything jumping out at you there that you don't like or good with everything?
Yeah, there was a number of accessory buildings. We didn't know a 4x8 wood shed would be an accessory building, so there was a number of wood sheds that were placed around. I think Mr. Mitchell has agreed to remove 2 of them. We've requested if the main wood shed, which is a little bit more of a permanent structure, and then there's an existing deck that was part of the original permit for the construction of the cottage, that there was a barbecue put out there, and then during construction, it was asked for the contractor to have a covered area over the barbecue, which were posts and then a roof. So unknown to Mr. Mitchell, he didn't know that that was going to be an additional structure because it's already on existing piers that go into the ground, that's on his deck. And he just wanted a covered area, all tastefully done. So which accessory buildings are we to maintain and which ones are you recommending?
Can you, Adam or Jeff?
So-
answer that?
Yep, so through you, Chair, I think through our discussion was obviously you wanted the proposed garage, which would be 1, the saunas 2, the woodshed B, I think had a desire to be kept, which is 3, and then the barbecue cover gazebo was 4. So woodshed A and C would be removed, I believe that's what we've discussed, and then that variance for 3 + 1 accessory buildings would cover those other 4 buildings.
Okay, and then there was another provision for, and if you could reread them, I'm trying to remember them.
Yep, so besides the first 4 conditions, which are just general conditions, condition number 5 was before a building permit is issued, the number of accessory buildings must comply with the variance approved. So before the issuance of a permit for the garage, you'd have to remove woodshed A and C. And then condition 6 was before a building permit is issued for the garage, the open sauna permit must be completed. So I think you've been working with Bree in the building department. During my review, I asked them about the permit and they said you guys had applied for a permit for the sauna, but no inspections were done and the sauna was built. So we just asked that that be completed. And then condition number 7 was before footings are poured for the garage, a surveyor must confirm the sauna and woodshed B meet the minimum water setback. So through your site plans, originally you had, I think, the dwelling around that 30-meter water setback, and it just appears doing the site visit and kind of where you showed on the plan that that sauna is in front of the dwelling and also woodshed B. So staff just have concerns if they're in the water setback. Hopefully they're not. We just want confirmation. And then condition 8, before the footings are poured for the garage, the applicants must apply for a building permit for the detached deck. So I saw on file you had a permit that obviously didn't go through for the dock because you don't need a permit for the dock. But at the top of the stairs there, you have a 12 by 13 platform there that's considered detached deck, and anything over 10 square meters requires a permit.
Is there a height restriction off grade that becomes hardscape if it's a deck like 2 feet above grade is a structure, 2 feet at grade is hardscape? Is there some kind of bylaw in there?
Yeah, through you, Chair. Not by the zoning bylaw. So in our discussions with the chief building official, anything over 10 square meters does require a building permit, even if the deck's at grade.
Okay. So you probably have to. Obviously, Mr. Mitchell didn't know while he's discussing with contractors that are actually building things. Yeah. Yeah. So just have to submit
Get it.
application.
Okay.
Yeah. For the sauna, I just want to address that. I think Mr. Mitchell had requested from the contractor of the day to submit the application for the sauna. That particular building didn't get built. I know that the contractor had it 100 feet back from the water's edge, or the 90 or 30 meters back from the high water mark. At the time of switching from the contractor to build it, we went with a prepackaged sauna. So we're in the midst of having a architectural designer show what's actually site built and then submitted so they can post that permit. In discussion with one of the counselors, I understand that there's a 60 feet setback for saunas. Is that correct for waterfront?
So on this property, it's waterfront residential type 6L, and that has a 30-meter water setback. I'm not sure who you were speaking with, but they were probably thinking of usually like older waterfront properties or WR4, which have a 20-meter setback. But this specific property has a 30-meter setback.
Question to you through the staff. If it's within that 30-meter setback, what's the implications now? It's already been built. They put screw piles in the ground, the supports there.
Yeah, so if it doesn't comply with the zoning bylaw, you would have to come forward and request a minor variance from the committee of adjustment that you did there.
Okay, so it'll be additional over and above this. Okay, all right.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't add it on to today's.
Yeah,
As you probably know,
email
clerk,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
you'd have
yeah.
to provide the proper notice,
Okay.
circulation requirements.
Okay,
Great.
good?
Yes.
All right. Okay, can we get a motion?
I'll make motion to approve the minor variances.
Okay, moved by Chris Bishop, seconded by Jerry Walker. Be it resolved that the committee decision with respect to file D13 MV 2026-009 be recorded as follows. An increase to increase to section B 5.2 to permit a private garage to have a maximum structure height of 7.7 meters, 25.2 feet, as opposed to the permitted maximum of 5.5 meters, 18 feet is granted. All in favor? Thank you. A variance to section 3.1A to permit a water closet to be located in a private garage is granted. All in favor? Thank you. An increase to section 5.2 to permit 3 accessory buildings plus one-story building less than 10 square meters in area, as opposed to the permitted maximum of 2 plus one-story building less than 10 square meters is granted. All in favor? Thank you. You're good.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Again, that 20-day appeal period thing, but you can still proceed with getting all your permits and stuff in place in that 20 day period, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you can apply for your permit. They just can't issue it until the appeal period's over, but you can get all your ducks in a row and have everything submitted.
Thanks, Ann. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi, Abby, can you hear us?
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. And then I think Lindsay and Anthony were joining as well. Leave.
Yes, they should be in here also. I can see them. I think they're just muted.
Yeah.
They're in? Okay, we're good to go? Yep. Okay, the third application is for lands of Golden on Main, Inc. This is a variance request to increase the structure height of a legal non-complying seasonal dwelling and increase the area of an attached deck within 10 meters of the high water mark. Okay, you want to run through what's happening here, guys?
Yeah, I can go ahead and start, and then if Lindsay or Anthony has anything to say after, we can send it over to them. So I'm Abby Steele, and I'm the designer as well as the agent for this project. So I guess I'll just explain the reasoning on why we are requesting these variances, one for the deck encroachments and one for the roof height. So this cabin exists here and it's existed here for quite a while, and the owners don't want to move its location and disrupt anything. They prefer to use what's here and add an addition and decks to it. So it's within this 10-meter water setback. However, we are adding decks, but we're keeping them flush with the front of this cabin. So we're not encroaching any closer to the water. But the water line does curve and bend a little bit, so the dimensions are encroaching a bit closer, but it's less than a meter. So those decks are encroaching, and they're looking for some outdoor space. This is a cool property where the lake actually wraps around the property, so they have views from multiple angles, and having these 2 decks will be really nice to be able to sit out there. And regarding the roof, so we'd like to take off the existing roof and replace it with vaulted trusses. And that way the owners can have a higher ceiling and then windows in the peak, which can let a bit more light in and really optimize those views of the lake wrapping around the property. So we're not asking for too much. I think the height is 1.4 meters more and the deck's about 8 meters squared more. Encroaching into that 10-meter setback. So that's what we're asking, and I can send it over to Lindsay and Anthony if you have anything else to add.
I don't think we're hearing them, but they're shaking their head like no, I think.
looks like you're muted. I can see you talking, but it's not.
It's not.
Now,
There we Yep.
There we are.
fair enough. Yeah, nothing really to add. We're just really happy with the place that we bought, and we just would like to make it a little more comfortable for us.
Okay, good enough. Okay, committee, any comments, concerns? Jerry?
My only comment is, I think when this, structure was built, the setback was, not 10 meters, but what was it, 20 feet instead of 30 feet, right?
So this structure was built prior to the first zoning bylaw in 1977, so there wouldn't have been a water setback.
Right. So for that reason, I have no problem with the application.
Chris?
Yeah, I agree. I have no problem as long as you meet the recommendations of
Okay.
staff.
Don, good? Thank you. Okay, Adam will give us the public comments and the recommended conditions.
Yep, so through you, Chair, notice the minor variance was circulated as required by regulation on July 28, 2026. No comments have been received. And should the committee decide to grant the requested variances, the following conditions would be appropriate. Condition number 1, approval applies only to the seasonal dwelling and attached deck shown on the property sketch dated July 14th, 2026. Condition number 2, the county shoreline tree preservation bylaw applies. Condition number 3, the site alteration bylaw applies. Condition number 4, sediment fencing and erosion controls must be used during construction to protect the lake. Condition number 5, prior to the pouring of footings, the applicant shall submit confirmation from an Ontario land surveyor that the area of encroachment within 10 meters of the high water mark for the attached deck complies with the area of encroachment as granted by the committee. And condition number 6, prior to the pouring of footings, the applicant shall remove the outhouse and shed or bring them into compliance with the zoning bylaw.
Okay, I guess Abby, are you guys okay with the all the conditions? Understand them all good?
So the last one regarding removing the outhouse, it's located on the site plan, but there's no exact measurement, and we think it's outside that 20-meter setback. So we would like to get that measurement for you and just prove that it shouldn't be an issue because it's located outside of that.
Yep,
Uh,
and that would bring it into compliance. So that's why staff have worded it that way, that you bring them into compliance with the zoning bylaw. If you prove that it's beyond the 20 meters, then it's good.
Okay, thank you. And I do have one more question about the shed we're removing. So you said that it needs to be removed prior to the foundation of the new structure. If they want to use that to store things during the build and then demo it, is that possible or no?
Maybe Jeff, do you want to take this one?
So it's up to the committee. Like there has been instances in the past where the committee's put a date on the removal of those structures. From staff's recent experience, those structures don't always get removed, and it creates a lot of additional administration for staff and even enforcement to sometimes try and get these to be removed. So staff word it this way so that it adds some leverage that we ensure it gets removed prior to whatever they want to build. But it is at the committee's discretion. You could put a timeline on it. Yeah, completely up to you.
Okay, Jerry?
I recall, I think we've done, allowed those structures to stay until the occupancy permit is granted. So that's kind of an end to the program, so after they've done their addition, you have a final inspection, so they wouldn't get that until that shed's removed. So that's a suggestion there.
Chris?
I'm okay with that.
What kind of dates are you guys looking at here for construction and stuff?
Anthony or Lindsay, I'll let you answer that on when you're planning on building and if you are okay with tearing that down just prior to occupancy inspection.
Yeah, we hope to start building hopefully around September. And then once the building's completed, we will take that shed down.
Okay. So, are you looking like this is gonna happen over the winter time, or how quick do you expect to get it done?
The project's not like the cabin size itself is very small, so I'm hoping the project doesn't take longer than a month and a half.
Okay, so do we want to recommend a date, I guess, then, guys, like if we? Sure, okay, okay, but that's fine. I know sometimes I think we put dates in there, but if not, if we're. So we want to add that into the conditions, I guess, then, Adam?
Yep, so I can change it to prior to occupancy.
Okay. Okay, everybody
Great.
happy then? Good. Can I get we need to make a motion, please? Moved by Jerry Walker. Seconded by Don Popple. Be it resolved that the committee's decision with respect to file D13-MV 2026-011 be recorded as follows. A, an increase to section 3.19A to permit the height of a legal non-complying seasonal dwelling within 10 meters of a high water mark to increase 1.4 meters, 4.6 feet, as opposed to the required 0 feet. So the total structure height is 5.7 meters, 18.7 feet. Is granted. All in favor? Q. B, an increase to section 3.19A to permit the area of encroachment of an attached deck within 10 meters of the high water mark to increase 8.2 meters, 88.3 square feet, as opposed to the required 0 feet. So the total area of encroachment is 12.4 square meters, 133.4 square feet. Is granted. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment, please?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Moved by Chris Bishop, seconded by Jerry Walker. Be it resolved, the meeting be adjourned at 11:36 a.m. All in favor? Carried.